Okay, and welcome to case study number 11 of this series, so brilliantly titled Kirk's 40 Case Study Closings. I'm your host, Ryan Kirk, and these case studies range from vacant lots to custom luxury homes and total $2,042,081.71 in profits and equity. Without having to personally go see the property on some, and with no cash, no credit of my own, it varies, and I'll explain. And I do it all with Flip Logic and 1-888 cash offer. Now let's get into number 11 of the 40 case studies. And that brings us to 6901 Cahuenga Park Trail, Los Angeles, California. This is actually in the Hollywood Hills, right next to the Hollywood Bowl. You could probably walk to the Hollywood Bowl from this property. So very cool location, tucked up on the end of a cul-de-sac, and a very tiny property. This thing was like, I want to say 600 square feet, so super small. And that's pretty much it. From those three photos that you see, the one in the middle, that's the living room. So tiny. The perk was it does have a view, and it does have a view of the Hollywood sign. The photo on the right, that's the kitchen, and there's a little kitchen nook there, and then you have a bathroom and a tiny bedroom, and that was it. So let's talk about it. So the lead type, this was an inheritance property, and it was in a trust. And the brothers were looking to sell the property. They just wanted it sold. I believe they had tried to list and sell it. I think it expired. They didn't get the price they wanted. So again, this you may see a pattern here with properties from sellers who list it too high on the MLS, and then they expire. They'll often go and list it for sale by owner. And I think they'll do that so they can save themselves 5-6% in commissions, which is quite a bit on some of these properties when you get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you could have found this lead if you wanted to duplicate it through Flip Logic using the Craigslist instant lead search, and you could search Craigslist for sale by owner, and that's where you would have found it. So the condition on this was, you could tear it down or you could renovate and add on. So the investor, they decided to go with a reno and add on. So the seller's motivation was just to cash out. The after repair value on this was approximately $1,050,000. The repairs came out to $122 a square foot. Now, if you were to break that down between how much they were going to add on and then what they were going to spend on renovating the existing, our system, Flip Logic, does that. I don't have the exact breakdown of how that went or what they were going to add on. But when we actually pitched it or marketed it to investors, we kind of left that up to their imagination. We didn't really market it as an add-on as much as more as of just a reno. But when they went to the property to look at it, they came up with their own conclusion, and were able to make the purchase price work still. They're going to extract more value with the add-on anyway. So our purchase price was $380,000. Seller said yes by law of reciprocity, right? If we paid all cash, paid all closing costs and closed in 14 days, what's the best price you could do, Mr. Seller? And I believe they were asking, I want to say $400,000, and I don't remember exactly. I do remember we offered our initial price, which I think was around $360,000, $365,000, and then we ended up meeting in the middle. I think it was $360,000. They wanted $400,000. We met in the middle at $380,000. So that's how that negotiation went. And the investor that we found, the investor actually came from a real estate agent on our list, and that agent marked it up, marked up the price to his commission, or for his commission. I think he marked it up to $420,000 or $422,000 or $425,000. And our profit on the deal was $35,000, so dollar for dollar between the 380 and the 415. And the system that we used was FlipLogic, and how we funded the deal, we put it under contract. We used an assignment to assign it to the buyer, and the buyer closed on it with a hard money loan. So that's how that went. The other details I could tell you is that, again, this was a vacant property. That's always best when the property's vacant. That means you're not going to have an owner-occupant there. So you wouldn't have had to go see this property personally. So again, if it is occupied with the seller, you don't want any of your investors going over there unsupervised and him and the seller talking or going over terms. So you always want to attend those types of inspections. If it's vacant like this, you really don't need to go see the property at all. It doesn't matter where it is, and it doesn't matter where you are, because the investors can go there without any disruption. And they're going to do the ultimate, scope of work and bid when they go there, just like in this circumstance where when they went with their general contractor, they not only, came up with the scope of work that was going to involve doing the reno, but they decided they were going to do the add-on, and they came up with their bid estimate, and then were able to give us their non-contingent price of $415, which is what we accepted. Gave them wire instructions. They wire their non-refundable deposit, and we move forward to close. The other way that this, again, mentioning like whether you have to use cash or not of your own, or any of your own, even a dime, is really going to come down to the deposit, right? So on this property, I'm trying to recall whether we had to wire a deposit or not. We like to use, we don't always, unless we get countered on it. Most of the time it doesn't get countered, which is for the initial deposit to be due in 5 business days, as opposed to usually the standard boilerplated 3 business days, which is usually standard or customary on any purchase and sale agreement. You can amend or modify that to 5 business days. You can modify it to whatever you want. But 5 days is reasonable. It gives you 7 calendar days to do your due diligence, do your marketing, and should you line up an investor who's interested in proceeding within that time, then they can wire their deposit in lieu of you ever having to put a deposit up. So that's how you can truly do a deal with no cash of your own. Obviously, if you were to exceed that time line of 5 business days, or if you're using the standard 3 business days for the deposit of when it's due, then you would have to wire a deposit in by that day, or else you risk receiving a cancellation. You really have to abide by that timeline. So your deposit could be small, could be as small as $10, which can make your offer very weak, because that's going to be, a merit to the deal of how strong or weak your offer is. So if you were to do like a $500 to $1,000 deposit, or even 1% of the purchase price, that's on the stronger side. If you don't want to tie up that much money in any deal, even though it's refundable, and you would get that right back as long as you stay within your inspection or due diligence period, and not go over that or remove your contingency until you have an investor lined up. They wire their money in, and you get your deposit out. If you don't want to put up even a dime, you gotta extend that time period of when that deposit's due out just a little bit, or you just got to make sure you line up an investor quick enough to where they can wire before your timeline comes due of when that deposit needs to be in escrow. I think that about covers it. I hope that's helpful. But that's how you can truly do a deal with no cash of your own, not even a dime out of your pocket. So, all right, that's all I have for now. So again, statistically, only 10% of YouTube videos are watched till the end. If you're in that 10%, you're a hustler, you're persistent, determined to succeed, and I do wish you much success. So thanks for watching. I look forward to working with you.